Good morning. Today topic cooperation in the neighborhoods. What happened? Were things actually better or do we only remember the good parts? Hey guys, welcome back to We Think Differently. Is that a problem? I'm so glad to see y'all today. Every week we tackle the conversations people are thinking about but don't have. This week we're going to take a break from the headlines and we're going to think about the good old days. Nah, I'm not going to put it that way. I'm not going to say the good old days. I'm going to say let's remember our
How things used
neighborhoods.
to
Let's remember our neighborhoods.
be. Yeah.
There was a time when block. Do y'all remember block captains? I don't know if y'all remember block captains. Most of you guys should. Um, I don't know if y'all remember playing outside on the blocks till the street lights came on. We had a fun time, but my question is, are we only remembering the highlights, like the good parts, or was it really good back then? Let's have an honest conversation, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I can start off and say this. The Karens of today were the block captains of
Mhm.
yesterday, right? Meaning,
Ah, you think that?
yeah, the Karens today are the block captains of yesterday, right?
Wow, yeah, I can
Right?
see that.
It was
Yeah,
always somebody in your business paying attention at
right,
the neighborhood, making sure things in the neighborhood acted a certain way, people did a certain thing. You would call
right.
them Karens today,
That's funny.
right?
Yeah,
But back in the day, that was the block captain, and they had a certain amount of respect, but also, I don't know. I mean, I think people back, I wouldn't say long ago, but 20 years ago, it seems like that they were more intent on keeping the neighborhood up.
right,
Everybody watched each other's back.
right.
We weren't in each other's business. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah,
if you left for a holiday, your house would be cool.
right.
Nowadays, good luck. As long as you don't post it on social media, you might be okay.
Remember, I remember Saturday mornings where when you woke up, you wasn't that was your day off from school too, everybody's day off. I
Mhm.
remember, first of all, smelling that breakfast because mom always got up and cooked that Saturday morning breakfast. I remember hearing the lawnmowers outside, somebody was playing music, people was washing their cars. The block captain was out there. People sweeping their streets. I mean, I feel like we just really just lost that connection in the neighborhoods. Um, I feel like what my question is, what made people cooperate at that time? Because I don't feel like people cooperate with each other now.
Yeah, I mean, we can go through a whole bunch, but I think people got selfish, man. I mean, it all comes down to, don't tell me what to do, mind your business, right?
Right. Yeah.
Back in the day, it seemed like everybody kind of cooperated. Like you were talking about Saturday mornings, right? When you heard the grass cutting, that was normally me because dad was telling me to go cut the grass.
You did your chores on Saturday, so
Right, right. I mean,
yes.
it was normally me cutting.
But that's another thing. Kids did their chores Saturday morning. They did their chores
Yeah,
on Saturdays before
yeah.
you went out to play. You had to go do your chores.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That don't happen now. I don't even think these kids, this generation, have chores. I know that's a different conversation, but I don't think they have chores. I
Yo,
remember
man.
riding the bikes. I remember that. I remember I was riding the bike. I had just learned how to ride, and I tried to ride the bike around the corner because, I thought I was, good at the bike. And I was riding real fast and I came around the corner and I crashed right into the back of this man's car. And on the neighborhood, he was the man that had always had the big dogs. You always
Hmm.
had that man that had them
Yeah.
big dogs. I
Yeah.
was scared to death. I thought he was going to take them, he was going to let them dogs out on me. I never rode a bike anymore after that.
Oh,
It
that's sad.
was trauma, but that was the neighborhood. That man didn't care nothing about that. He was more concerned was I all right. That was
Well, that
neighborhood.
was nice. Yeah, yeah,
That was neighborhoods. That was
yeah.
community.
Well, nowadays you bump into somebody's car, they might
Yeah.
beat your ass in the
Yes,
street.
you can't do that now. Can or not? They gonna cuss you out.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna happen. Yeah.
I tell you this, right? I think there's good and bad in it. I remember back in the day, like, I don't know people, and guys, correct me if I'm wrong on this. In the inner city, right? I remember living in Southwest Philly, and Saturday morning before 10,
Hmm.
right? People came out and everybody swept the neighborhood,
Right. Yeah.
right? It was a time to wash your steps off.
Yeah.
It was a time to, whatever grass or whatever, which was about a foot.
Right.
You know what I mean? You took care of it. And then
Right.
you swept the street and you got all the glass up. You cleaned up your neighborhood that you didn't have the weeds popping up through the cracks. People did that like almost every Saturday.
Right.
And there was a time that you were proud to have a block party.
Right. Yeah. That was the block captain. Block captain organized all that.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Nowadays, nobody knows anybody,
Right.
right?
And when
Don't
they have
tell
the
me.
party, and they still have the parties, but it's just the people that they know. Ain't no neighbors there. Like you don't
No,
have,
I
you
mean,
don't
they
even
have
know
a
your
block party,
neighbors.
but it be they family and
Yes. Yeah.
and then another, nobody
Yes.
communicating and doing. I
Yes.
mean, it's you know, it's kind of funny. And you go, all right, so what changed?
Yeah.
And everybody can put in their opinions on what did change, what made things different. But it got down to the point where people just don't want you in their business. They don't want to be involved. There's no interaction. And
Right. Right.
if you ask them about something personal, mind your damn business. But also, if you have that person, now there are extremes, right? Like I was joking earlier, saying, your Karen was your block captain,
Right.
right?
Hmm.
But I think it's going to, a different extreme today. And why I think it's going to a different extreme because nobody needs to know anything about anybody.
Right.
So if you come up and ask me a question, it's kind of like, and people say, all right, it's always one color. No, there's Karens on every spectrum,
Right. Yeah.
right?
Really.
So, and that's unfair to the Karens out there, right? You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
Your name gets
I
thrown
like
through the
that though.
mud, and you're like,
They
yo,
were the block captains. You're
right, right,
right.
right.
I like
But
that. I mean, now you only know the people on your block. Everybody got a doorbell camera. I mean, even in apartment buildings. Like if you live in an apartment building and everybody has a doorbell camera.
mhm.
You see the doorbell camera there, everybody has one. That's the only way you know your neighbor now. When you look at the video of your doorbell camera and maybe they walk past or something like that, but most people
Right.
don't say anything to their neighbors. And I can say I'm included to that now because that's just how society has become. Um, I don't know. Let's say this. I'm not saying in the past that we didn't have crime and we didn't have this or that. We had some bad things in the past also. But I feel
But
like,
you say that, right?
mhm,
I remember back in the day, um, there were some crimes, and it was stated back then, back then, if you're getting your stuff taken and people robbing your house, it's normally someone in your neighborhood.
Right.
Back then, everybody knew who that person was.
Right.
You
You're right. You're
know
right.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, now you don't. I mean, it could be so and so. It could be shoot. It
It
could be
could
the
be
person
somebody from
living
a
with
whole nother neighborhood. Yes.
you. It could,
Came
yeah,
all
it
the
could
way
be
over
yeah,
here to rob you. Yeah.
right. You know what I mean? But back in, you knew who was doing it. Like,
Yeah,
yo, man, I need you to
you
stop.
knew who the family was that stole, that was still.
Right,
Knew
right.
who the boosters were. You know who they you knew who
I
everybody you
knew.
knew it was always a family. You
Right,
knew I remember the whole family stole. Everybody went to the store and stole their clothes. I remember a whole family like that. It was
right.
generational.
Yeah. I'm a generational thief.
Yes.
It's
But
like
you
what?
knew who it was.
Yeah,
Now you
yeah,
don't know nothing. You don't know who doing what. You just happen to come past something.
yeah.
Now it's just like you don't know nothing today. You
You
don't
know,
know
and
nothing.
I tell you this, and this is way off topic, right? Not really, but
Mhm.
now, have you ever heard of those stories of, in a neighborhood, it's like that one house that's weird, right?
Yeah,
Everybody know it's weird, and then
right,
find like 13 children in there, and it's
right,
been in there for 10 years,
right.
right? And you like, but everybody knew it was weird,
Yes,
right?
right.
But nobody did anything
Yeah,
until something occurred. So I can't say that the block captain in the way it used to be was perfect. Don't get me wrong, because there were a lot of gaps and so forth. But I think from a neighborhood standpoint, things were a little bit more cohesive. It was a
right,
little bit, in the words you use, cooperative,
right, right.
right? Um, Nowadays, if you blow grass onto your neighbor's area, y'all might y'all might be
Yeah,
going down
fist
the
fight
road.
or it's worse. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like people get shot over
Listen,
less.
I remember. I can't remember how old I was, but I remember my girlfriend, her family was the family that they called their mom by her first name. You ever met a family like that? They called her mom. That was
Yeah,
the
it's
first time I
it's
ever.
in all honesty, I've never met a black family like that.
No, this was a black family.
Yeah.
They was the family that had the vicious dog. That if the dog came out on the neighborhood, everybody run in the house. Here come the dog. That they had the vicious dog. I remember going down to her
Alligator
house.
man.
Yes, I remember going down to her house and I was in her house and I shouldn't have been in there because she had the dog. And I was
Mhm.
in their house and her brother started chasing and playing with the dog and doing all kinds of crazy stuff with the dog and the dog. And I was standing in the middle. I think, I don't know what was going on, but I was standing in the middle and they was running around playing with the dog and the dog was chasing something. The dog caught my foot and tore my foot up, started biting me on my foot. And I ran out the house and I hopped all the way down to the house, came in the house, and the dog had bit me. Why was you in there? You know that was the bad dog. I remember that house, yes. They was the house that had the vicious dog. That dog bit two other kids on the block before everybody said, all right, they got to get rid of the dog. That was a community, though, a neighborhood. They
Right.
all said
Yeah.
the dog
People
had to
knew.
go. But
I don't know if you remember, but do you remember Skippy?
yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Right. Skippy, and so many things happen. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stories.
I remember when you smacked him up because he did something to me and you smacked him up. I forget
Yeah.
what he did. Yeah,
But Skippy was the neighborhood thief.
yeah. The
Everybody knew
neighborhood
if your
fool. Yeah.
mailbox was missing some shit, it was Skippy,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And good-hearted person, man. You're
Yeah.
just a damn thief.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And
They normally were. They were nice people. They were good people.
he's
The
just a
kids
thief.
knew. They were
Right? You know what
thieves.
I mean?
Yes.
He had one fault. He stole. You know what I mean?
Put your stuff
Um,
in your pocket. Watch your pockets.
yeah. I mean, he sneeze, you sneeze, something fall. He picking
Yeah,
it up. You know
yeah,
what I mean? But it's just funny how, and it may be still today, how in the neighborhood, I don't think it as much as it was. You knew, like the kids in the neighborhood, I knew who was messing with each other. I
right,
knew what kids were messing with some of the neighbors.
right.
You know what I mean? You just knew, and it was just more informative as a neighborhood,
Right.
if you want to call it that.
Yeah,
Now you have no idea what's going on in your neighborhood.
yeah. I
None,
couldn't tell you. Like
right?
you could be sitting in your house and chilling, and the SWAT team at the neighbor's house. You're
And
like,
you're like,
what? And the news come out and everything. You're like, I didn't even know. It was a
but back
serial
in
killer.
back in the day, you were like, yo, man, that's the Sling John,
Yes,
blah blah
you.
blah,
Yes,
and
you.
you actually had a relationship with the Sling John.
Right, right. Yeah,
Yo, don't disrespect, I got you. Don't disrespect me. I
right.
got, now
Listen,
it's like,
listen. I drive down the blocks now, down the neighborhoods, and it just blows my mind of all. This is such a thing for me. I'm driving down West Philly. I park on the blocks,
mm.
and it's always glass everywhere. I mean, glass everywhere. Like, what? What do y'all just sit out here and just bust bottles all day? Like,
Yeah,
what's
yeah,
going on?
yeah, right.
But I'm sitting there thinking, like, not one neighbor. I mean, even when
What?
you're driving up the block, it's just glass everywhere. Like,
Mhm.
it's stuff just everywhere. Nobody decided out of all these people on the block. How many houses is on one block, on a
Yeah,
residential block?
man, you're
Like,
looking at
not
40 to 45.
right.
Yeah.
Not one person came out to say, "Let me sweep," and then maybe somebody else would say, "All right, let me sweep. Let me sweep." Sweep. Like, what's going on? Why nobody sees this? I don't understand, or just don't want to pick it up.
In all honesty, I don't know what that is. Like you can account it up to, but this is a beyond issue, right? And I'll bring this up. When you do shit like that, in my opinion, or stuff like that, excuse my French,
Mm,
it's you are not willing, you will be where you will be for the rest of your life.
mm.
Does that make sense? Like, if you don't take the initiative to do something simple,
I think that's just taking pride in
that's
your
what I'm saying. Like,
yeah,
that's
and
that's what I mean. Like something simple, as into doing that, that reflects on a lot of different things, right?
you remember when you said, you know, I think today, and I see where you're going. I think today, back then we said our neighborhood, this is our neighborhood, this is our community. Now, only people just say my property. They don't say my block, my neighborhood, my community. They say my property. That's it.
Shoot, and even some people go even further. Like, it's my room. Like, you understand? Like the rest of the house don't mean nothing, but this is my room.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's funny to hear.
Yes.
Like, I
The
don't care about
mindset
nothing
is
else, but it's my
totally,
room. Yeah.
the mindset has changed. We know that.
Mhm.
Yeah. Do we agree on that? The mindset has changed.
Don't know why though. I mean, that's
Why could it be? I don't know. Did people, is it about traditions? Like, did we, how our family always have a certain, every holiday we have this two traditions. Did we stop that? Um, are people just afraid to interact with each other? I don't know. Do people just don't want to be friends? They move too much? I don't know. Something just, what happened? I don't understand.
I mean, shoot, we can go into a whole bunch as into what systemically
Right,
deteriorated the neighborhood, right? It
right,
didn't start with one thing. It was
right.
this thing and then this thing and then this thing and
Yeah.
then this thing.
Mm.
Now,
Can we get it back? Can we bring it back?
people can always blame COVID, but this stuff was happening before COVID,
Yeah, before COVID.
right? So can we get it back? Of course we can get it back. But the thing is, in all honesty, it's kind of like people don't want to put themselves out there, right? When you interact with people, you're showing vulnerability. People don't have, I don't know. And when I mean, and people look at vulnerability like, I'm not vulnerable. Anytime you put yourself out there, you're
Right.
vulnerable, right? I'm not saying like, a person gonna stab you in the back or something, but you're putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
People don't have the courage to do that anymore. Everybody's living a lie, kind of,
Mm. Right. I agree
you
with that.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know, man.
And I think that comes from the internet because people portray themselves as something else. Most people do on the internet. A lot of people just, just forgot about reality.
Well, also interpersonal skills has been lost. Like,
Yeah.
I'll tell you a perfect example. I get in trouble a lot because people that I'm with in a relationship, right,
Mm.
think that I'm too. Um, Basically, I can get along with anybody,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
Because I'll start up a conversation with anyone if I feel like it.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? It ain't like
Right. Right. Right.
it ain't like every day or. But the thing is that it makes me laugh when a person will say, "How can you talk to anybody?" or "How do you talk to people?" or
Yeah.
"How do you get along with people?" And it's kind of funny. Like, actually, the only thing you need to do is say, "What's up?"
Mm.
You know what I mean? It's not really that hard. And
Right.
it's looked as a skill, but it's just not really in my mind. It's more of, hey, hi.
Right.
Now that can lead into a whole bunch of other stuff and you just go
Yeah.
with the flow. But
Right.
the point is not being scared
Yeah.
to say, what's up? And a lot of times, remember back in the day when you would walk down the street, hey, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Now you can't even look at a person. You know what I mean? Before you had to actually, I mean, it was a man thing to where if I'm talking to a man or
Mhm.
I'm talking to a person as a man,
Mhm.
I got to look them in the eye.
Right.
Is that today?
Yeah. Yeah.
These kids today or people today, you're talking to them, they're looking there, they're looking there, they're not actually
Oh,
engaging,
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Um, that to
It's
me,
almost like they looking to see who looking at them, who watching them. It's weird. I understand exactly what you're saying.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's just a different mentality. I don't
Mhm.
know where it came from, but
I'm kind of
dad was
that
very
people are
forceful.
not living in reality.
No,
Everything is
it's no, and that's I think that's false because they are living in reality, but they're living in their reality. You know what I mean?
mm,
And that's the whole thing. And people say this all the time. Just one thing that I hear all the time, right? Is everybody doesn't think like you.
mm,
So
right,
you can't hold people accountable to what you would do
right,
because
right,
they're not you.
Right.
That's where you fall into that, that situation. Like, all these people are stupid. No, they're
Yeah.
not. You know what I mean? You're just being judgmental because you're gauging everybody off of your thought process, right?
Yeah.
Um, Even like the conversation we had last week on the, truthfulness, not truthfulness.
Right.
Everybody doesn't think like
Right.
you, right? So in this situation with these neighborhoods, it's kind of like some people think the vulnerability of inviting a person or engaging in a person is more vulnerable
Mm.
than I'd rather cuss you out than say hi.
Right. Right. You're right.
You know what I mean?
I don't, first of all, I don't know what that is, what that mindset is. Let me tell you something. I had, this was a few years ago. I had pulled up into my driveway. My son and his friends was standing out there, and they all was standing there, like, they had the party or something like that. Everybody standing there. So I get out the car and I'm like, and I start walking. Nobody said nothing. I said, "Oh, don't nobody speak?" And then they all start smiling and laughing. And I'm like, "Yo, what is that? What is that mindset? Why do we have to play like we so hard and angry and everything? And that's not you. That's just false." That's why.
Yeah.
What is that mindset? What is that reality? That's not a reality to me because you're supposed to speak. You had enough
Likeness
respect.
says, yeah.
Yes. That's
Yeah.
just it's just so odd to me the mindset today. Everybody just got their different world going on. I don't know.
And,
It's
and,
just
and
weird.
I'll be honest with you, and this is, I don't know if this is, I don't know if the kids or the YNs in the world will actually understand this, right? But mugs were tougher back then, man.
Mm.
I mean,
Well, they use their hands.
it was all hands, yo.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
wasn't their
it
hands.
had knives and people,
Yeah,
I'm not saying guns weren't in play, blah blah blah, but
right.
it was hands.
Yeah, it was rough. Ain't
You
like
know what I
that.
mean?
Yeah,
You
it
would
was
come
rough.
home, yeah, you would have a knuckle, let's knuckle up, bruh.
Right.
And that
Yeah.
was real. Let's knuckle,
Yeah.
and you would hear that like,
Yeah.
like fist hitting face type shit.
Yes. Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But man,
Now, if you lose the fight, you grabbing your gun. They'll fight, but if you losing, you grabbing your gun.
but I don't even know if they'll fight. To be honest,
I mean, some of
they'd
them
be like,
will.
I'll
I mean,
be
yeah,
back.
right. Some
I'll be
some
back.
people just
I'll be back.
shoot
And,
you.
and the ones that will knuckle, right, and take that loss and understand that loss, blah blah blah, doesn't define you, but it is what it is, and you'll get another chance.
Right.
I
Right.
mean, seriously.
Yeah.
'Cause I remember back in the day. Remember Ali?
Yeah.
Me and Ali fought every.
Every time y'all seen each other, it was on sight. It was on sight.
Crazy, right?
Yes.
And we was in that neighborhood like 12 years.
Yeah, you're fighting
You know what I mean? But
again.
in all honesty, it was what it was.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And nobody really took it. It was what it was.
Right.
You
Right.
know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it gave you a foundation, and I don't know, man. It's just weird nowadays. That wouldn't happen.
That ain't happening.
That that
Don't nobody got no 12-year fight.
mm-mm,
Nobody got a
mm-mm.
12-year fight.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
ain't happening.
You got
Yeah.
2 weekends, and
Yeah.
if that.
Yep.
But it was crazy. But it was the best time ever.
Yeah, that was the best time. I'm not going to say, like I said, I'm not saying the past was perfect,
No,
but
not at
we
all.
did cooperate a little bit more. Things were a little easier, even though we had crime and we had some bad crime. things just seem a little bit easier. Let me ask y'all a question. If today, would you help your elderly neighbors shovel snow? Would you go out there and help them if you knew that they were elderly? Would you, and it's snow and nobody can help them and shovel their steps? They the only one steps is still filled with snow. Would you help them? I don't know if today people would do that. I know.
You know what? And I'm not trying to be funny.
Mhm.
The answer is no. Well, first of all, I would,
Yeah.
right? But you can't even get the kids in your house to help you shovel your own snow.
Yes.
All right. You gotta make, I mean,
Right.
basically it's a
Yeah, tell
punishment for
them.
them
Go out
to
there and
go
shovel
out.
that snow.
Right. All right. You can't even get your
Well, first of all,
own.
I don't think no kid getting up and saying, I'm going out here to shovel the snow."
I mean, seriously, I mean, I was so tuned to where if it was snowing, I was like, all right. And even now, I
Yeah,
wake up, I know I got to shovel and I got to do this. Do I want to? I don't want to, but I remember back in the day, you got to do it at a certain time.
right,
I mean, it was just a training thing.
right.
But
But you were taught that in your upbringing. You know what I
right,
mean?
so but the kids today, even though they're taught, um,
I don't even know if they're taught.
well, then at the end of the day, why are things where they're all today? If we're gonna be real, it's
Right.
because we did not keep that tradition.
Yeah. There you
We
go.
changed.
Yeah.
We're that
There you go.
generation,
Yeah.
right? So if we want
Yeah.
to blame something on something, we got to blame ourselves.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
Right.
we didn't want to. I mean, from the standpoint, I don't want to mess with my neighbor. Blah blah blah. Even though we grew up with it and thought it was
Yeah.
cool and so forth, we don't want to do
Mhm.
that now. All
Yeah.
right. Back in the day, making your kid do certain things. I'm not going to be my parents. I'm gonna be a little bit more
Yeah.
late. That type of deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I agree.
I
Yeah.
remember growing up. Yeah, I'm not your friend. I'm your father.
Yes.
Not your friend. I'm your mom.
Never friends.
Right.
Never
Right.
friends.
You know, we can be friends once you actually get out my house.
Yes. And
Right.
still
And
then.
and do your own. And then I can you show me you're responsible. Then we can become friends. But
Right.
before that,
Yeah.
I'm a parent. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But nowadays it's more of I love you.
Soft
Are
parenting.
you okay?
Soft parenting.
Why are you hurting? You know what I mean? If you don't feel like doing it, don't
Use your words.
Hmm? Yeah.
Use your
So,
words.
I gotta say it's
God.
us. We screwed up.
Hmm. I ain't gonna say we screwed up, but I think we should have stayed with those traditions.
I mean, there's so much shit that we screwed up on, man. We can have a whole different show on that. Our generation of trying to be ultra sensitive, ultra understanding,
Right.
other than just saying shit is what it is, right?
Yeah.
We went from having religion in churches to no religion and I'm sorry, religion in school
Right.
to no religion in school, right?
Yeah.
We went from teachers disciplining students to nobody can talk to a student,
Yes. You can't tell that student nothing.
right? You
Their
know what I mean?
mind is
So,
on their way
um,
up to
you
cuss the
know,
teacher out.
right? So, and right now you get, and this is way off. You get this situation with this woke, right? We're the first woke generation,
Mhm.
right? And we jumping on all these other kids as being woke. They're woke. We were the first woke because we wanted to change the world and make everything better. And
Right.
look at where we're at.
Right. Yeah.
Kids more sensitive, crybaby, little punk at.
Yeah.
I can go in there a
Yeah.
whole bunch. You know me. Yeah.
But you know what? I have to agree with you on that. I think, maybe it was our generation that changed it. And how do we get it back? How do we reel it back in? Can we reel it back in?
I don't think you can ever go back.
Mm.
And I'm not saying going back is the best. I think that
Well, what could we learn from yesterday?
Hmm?
I said, what could we learn from yesterday? You know what
I, I mean, in this conversation, we learned a lot. I mean, communities are better off when people communicate, right?
Mhm.
Um, we're just, I don't know. I don't know. Can we get better?
Yeah.
Hopefully. Hopefully.
I think it takes one person, one neighbor, somebody saying good morning, somebody smiling, somebody, you know, picking up the litter, sweeping the sidewalk. It takes one neighbor. That's all it takes. You know,
Well, I mean, yeah, it may take one neighbor, but we also seen that one neighbor, right? And I'm telling the truth. Maybe out there sweeping, you're like, look at that fool. I'm telling you the
yes,
truth.
yes,
Yeah, right. So it takes one neighbor, but it also takes, remember back in the day when they used to say it takes what do they say? It takes a village to raise a kid, right?
right, right.
You know what I mean? Nowadays, shoot.
And back then, shoot, the mothers would tell on you, the neighbor would tell on you. And
Yeah.
then when they told on you, guess who backed the neighbor? The parent.
Mhm.
You know, they backed each
But
other.
now a parent can't even talk to another parent
Mm-mm. Yo, let me
about.
tell you something. I just thought about this. So, a friend of mine was telling me about something that happened. So, um, this woman had her car parked outside,
Okay.
and the kids was sitting on her car, and she went out there and said to them, could you get off my car? Real nice. Well, apparently the kids went and told the mother, and the mother came down, and guess what the mother did? Went and sat on her car. Went and sat on her car. So she goes back out there, hey, can you get off my car? And she said, you talk to my kids, what you say to my kids? I'm like, oh my gosh,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's where we at today.
Yeah.
Instead of correcting your child and say, hey, you don't sit on nobody's darn car.
No, you want to be just as, and that's, and see, and then, right, when you hit someone upon the head, or you put a bling out on them, or you do
Right,
something crazy,
right.
it's like you overreacted. But
Mm.
that situation, in all honesty, should never have happened. Other than correcting your kids, you're going to be as simple as your kid. So
Right,
you teaching your,
right,
yeah, what are you teaching your kid?
right.
And this happens all the time. And
All the time.
right.
Yep.
So it's kind of like this, and this is weird. Back in the day, you could speak on something, and you didn't think it might be a death sentence.
Mhm.
Nowadays, you speak on something, you better be prepared to go to war,
Yeah, yeah.
right? And
Mhm.
sometimes because you're prepared to
So
go to
maybe
war,
that's why nobody interacts anymore. That's why. Just, scared of the danger.
and the consequences, not
Right.
the danger, because let me be calm. And let me actually say this very calm. I don't mind the danger part of it.
Mhm.
And what I mean is, you want to go to war? Let's go to war. I mean, but what I'm afraid of is the consequences.
Right, right, right. Look
You
at it.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think some people forget the consequences. If
Mm.
that lady would have recognized the consequence of her stupidity, she probably would not have done it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
Mhm.
pride,
Right.
right? And that's pride can be misconstrued as
Mhm.
arrogance and so forth. In that situation, her situation was pride.
Yeah.
But also ignorance, because and this is the funny thing, for a kid to actually explain that to their parent, and their
Yes.
parent actually feel their way. Like
Yeah.
if we walked in, right, and I'm just saying as a,
Yeah.
thinking back, if I walked in and was like, Mrs. Johnson yelled at me for sitting on her car,
Mhm.
mom and dad be like, well, she
Why
should have.
would that?
Why the hell was you
Yes,
sitting on their car?
right.
Especially dad.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes, you probably get in trouble just for coming back and saying that.
Right. You know
Yes.
what I mean? And you might have to wash their car.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Other
Right.
than coming back like how dare you talk to my kid? If your kid's wrong, why shouldn't I
Right.
be able? And they're disrespecting my property, and you
Right.
think this is okay? That's how people die, man.
Yeah.
Because it can slip just like that,
Yeah.
you
I
know.
think
But
maybe we should, I think, take somebody and tell them about the traditions. See if it's somebody that's open and open to hear that, in your neighborhood, and tell them about the traditions from your childhood and things that we did as a community. I mean, let's start there, and see if we can
change,
change, you know. I
yeah.
think maybe cooperation didn't just disappear overnight. You know, it faded a little at a time. Um, but
I tell you this, Shelley. In today's world, you feel very isolated,
yeah,
right? You go to work, work is hell, whatever. When
mm,
you can come home and have a neighborhood that invites you in, when
right,
you feel safe,
right,
it's so much less stress. You feel comfortable. There's nothing better than coming home and being able to hang out with your neighbors.
right, right,
Seriously, I mean, it's one of the
yes,
best feelings.
right,
I talk to y'all later and go
yeah,
in your house and do your thing. But when you're
yes,
out, everybody's, hey, what's going on?
yeah,
What you need? Yeah, you want to
yeah,
come over have a beer? There's
yeah,
nothing better than that,
yeah,
you know. But instead nowadays is, and some neighborhoods are still like that, you know. Like,
mhm,
um, I will say this, like, knowing the Philly gig, and West Philly got away from the block parties. The block parties ain't what they used to be.
I probably gonna disagree with you. West Philly probably is the only neighborhood I know right now that still has that kind of tradition.
I mean, when
They've
I'm talking,
always
I don't
got
know.
block
When I'm
parties.
talking about, like, the best block parties I remember was in either Southwest Philly or West Philly back in the
Right,
day, right?
right, yeah.
Now and I could be wrong, Fayetteville, not Fayetteville, Roxborough,
Mhm, mhm.
right? Up where Aunt Linda and them used to live.
Right, right.
They got the best block parties.
Oh yeah, they had some nice black parties.
They got, I mean,
Yeah.
because the
They
neighbors,
are they were still a community. Yes.
that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like, the neighbors
Yeah.
still talk, they communicate, they
Yeah.
clean their neighborhoods and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you get away from that, the sensation of the block party is lost. And
Right.
West Philly has been losing that. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I think they still trying to hold on a little bit. I mean they have some bad crime in West Philly, but them guys, this generation's still there. They're still trying to hold on to it, trying to hold on to their community.
That,
But
that's a blessing, man. But I mean, I remember back in the, certain Jones that you went to, you knew good block party compared to, I don't want to go to that block party.
right, yeah, like for me, because you knew I wouldn't go to a block party in North Philly. I knew that, you
Mm,
know,
mm.
you knew exactly what neighborhoods not to go
Something was
to,
going to
what
happen,
to do.
and
Yes,
blah, blah, blah. By
yes,
10 o'clock, somebody was going to get shot.
yes, yeah,
You know what I mean?
yes. They
But
were,
yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
those neighborhoods were communities also. They were communities also.
But you knew your community, and the people in the community knew the community.
Yes,
Now
yes,
it's hook and crook, baby.
yeah,
It's hook and crook, man. You don't know what
yes,
you're getting yourself
man,
into, you
yeah.
know.
I,
But yeah, I mean, I think things have changed. People have changed. People got more isolated. The old days of cooperation and the block parties were phenomenal. Do we
I
need to get
know,
back to that?
I know
Absolutely.
my neighborhood right now, I've been here for about 11 years now. I believe it's been about 11 years. Um, Always very quiet neighborhood. Um, I think in the last 2 years, I started hearing kids.
Mhm.
And I was like, it made me look out the window like, who kids are these? Because we've never had kids or, little kids. We just didn't see them. I don't know. I know, my last kids that were in the house, when we first moved here, um, their friends had to come from a distance to be with them, or they didn't have, it wasn't no outside, or, the kids were outside playing out front or down the neighborhood or the block or anything like that. No, it just wasn't. We just didn't, there was no kids on this block.
This will actually put things in perspective. I was in a neighborhood to where a person died in the house and
Mhm.
nobody knew for 2 weeks.
Wow, that's sad.
You understand what I'm saying?
That's sad.
That says everything,
Yeah.
right? You have that person that says, you hear them, I'm scared, I live by myself. And you wonder why people back in the day, and I'm not saying everything was perfect, people. I'm not saying that.
Right.
But
Right.
back in the day, if you didn't see Mr. Jones for 2 days, you was like,
Yeah. Somebody was knocking on the door. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
unless the Medicare nurse comes by and be like, oh,
Yeah.
nobody knows.
Nobody knows. You don't know who's in that house, what happened, what's going on with them.
Uh,
I,
and some people
you
get to
don't
thinking
even
that,
know if they used to have lunch programs and stuff like that. It was always a block captain that, you had lunch. They fed the kids at a certain time, during lunchtime. The kids went to that block captain house and they got their lunch. I mean, they had so many things. And right now, I don't know if they still have that program, but right now, do you even know if that single mom that may be living on your block have any groceries? Do you even care? You know,
yeah,
I don't, those kind of programs, those kind of things. And don't get me wrong, I don't know if those programs still exist. I hope they do. But those things help a lot of parents. That was communities. They, and they knew, and they would make sure every kid on that block had that lunch. If they was outside, everybody had that lunch. Those things need to come back. It just, hopefully it's not nobody that still gets that program and keep the lunches. Ain't nobody getting
yeah.
lunches,
No, I feel you.
you know. But those things I think were just beautiful. And I think we need to
Get
figure out
back
how
to it.
can we get back to that? Keep the community clean. I think for me, for me, I think that this is just my opinion, guys. I feel like Mayor Sherelle Parker, I think she did I think she's doing an excellent job. That's my
I
opinion.
hear about her a lot. I
I
mean,
think she
of
is
course, I
doing an
don't live in
excellent
Philly
job
anymore, but
for Philadelphia.
I hear she is no joke.
Yeah. I mean, they got a lot of speed bumps now. Don't get me wrong. They got a lot of speed bumps in Philly now.
But in all honesty, that was one of the biggest things is people was getting hit left and right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kids were getting run the fuck over.
Right.
I
Right.
mean, seriously, in
Yeah,
Philly, because
right.
people
Right.
was driving. Remember when we were coming back from the winery? How
Oh,
that
yes, yes,
car
yes,
went
yes.
through the light
Right, right. Yeah. Yeah.
going like 80,
Right. Yeah, she
right?
stopped
And if
that.
the
You
reaction
ain't
was
you
slower,
first of all,
we would
you
have
ain't
been
running from the cops either. She
right. We
bumped
would
the
have been
whole city.
done. Right. Not paying
Yeah.
attention, following the shit, right? Following the rule, but the person wasn't. And they were doing 80 through a and we weren't in a it wasn't an open highway.
Right.
It was Philly. You
Yeah.
know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. She put
And I
she
think of
got
stuff
these
like that.
camera lights, these speed camera lights. She has a
Yeah.
lot of stuff. She put
Good.
a camera light on a street that needed a camera light probably for decades. Whenever the camera light came out, should have been on there. And she put a camera light on there. And I'm like, wow, I think she's doing an amazing job. I don't
Yeah.
understand, a lot of people say, oh no, I think she's doing an amazing job.
Well, I mean, and it's sad to say, sometimes you got to force people to even be better.
Right.
Right? You can't ask them for permission, which is sad, because we live in a democracy,
Right.
right? But if you want betterment, sometimes you got to force a person to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it was a good conversation. Let's wrap this up, bro. I think we need to sit back, close our eyes, and remember Saturday mornings. Remember Saturday mornings, guys. I think they were priceless. I enjoyed them. I think they were priceless. I wish we could get back there.
I know. No, I mean, I agree with you, but I don't want to get back to doing them damn chores, yo.
I'm chores is what made us today.
Yeah, right or wrong, I am who I am because of them chores.
Yes, yeah. So listen, as we wrap up today's conversation, maybe the goal isn't to bring back the past exactly as it was. I think every generation faces different challenges and different opportunities, but the values of kindness, responsibility, and just looking out for another never goes out of style.
What happened to I'm my brother's keeper? People?
Yes. Cooperation just doesn't begin with governments or organizations. It begins with ordinary people.
Individuals.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Just making small choices every day. I think, those things are easy. We can get that back. We can just
look at you, Dr. Michelle.
So listen, this week, we're gonna ask you, this is the challenge. Go at your neighbor their name and say hello. Just say simply hello.
Shoot, I owe my neighbor some E&J.
Just no, I do. You walk past every day, they're sitting out there on their porch. Smile and say hello. One act of cooperation, it's not going to change the world, but maybe it would just make your community a little stronger. So let's keep the conversation going, guys.
Yep.
Got anything else to say, bro?
No, actually, you just reminded me. I owe my neighbor. A tree fell in my backyard. He helped me cut it up. I asked him, "Thank you. What do you need?" And he said, "I drink E&J." I don't know if I should actually say hi to him anymore or get him the E&J. Let me know, people. Thank you. Because he drinks E&J. He might be crazy.
Yeah. So, guys, leave a comment, say hello, and please, somebody, one person, go out there and do that. Ask your neighbor their name. We love you guys. Stay tuned to next time, and don't forget to subscribe.
Peace.